Hello, Serge here. We have a question from Rick Simmons. And Rick says, for the 30-some years of my golf, I have had a problem with my hands. At least I think I have a problem. I understand that the grip is the connection of the club to the body. Absolutely correct. And so the first thing I want to discuss right here is that if the hands are the connection of the club to the body, what do the hands therefore have the greatest influence of what this club does? Has an influence of where it goes, how it's swung up, whether it's flat, flat and laid off or vertical, and it has what? The greatest control over the face of the golf club throughout the swing. And the face has creates all the what? The direction that the ball goes and the shape of the shot, from straight to whether I hit fades and to slices or pulls to hooks. All right, so that's important, and that's why the grip has to be what I call the 3P grip. Palms perpendicular to the ground, the torso, and therefore when I stake a good address, they're also perpendicular to the aiming line. So, and then that means that what? The palms are in alignment with the club face, and I say that the right hand is critically important because why? The right hand is the club face. So whatever the right hand does, the club face does. So that's one of the main issues that you have to have for controlling the ball in terms of the direction it's going to start and whether it's going to be anywhere from a straight shot to having some form of push or pull, and then adding big curve to it. All right, so you are correct in that regard, and that's why the grip is important, especially to be perpendicular to the ground, or as I call it, the 3P grip. He says, I take away the club with the turning of my hands into the mitt and up the tree. Then I throw the hands at the ball on the downswing. Would you kindly explain the proper use of the hands? Should they be passive or aggressive? How can I resolve this frustration? Rick. Okay, Rick, the way to solve that frustration is to understand the swing. Now, and how the hands work in the swing. The hands and the arms. Remember, I'm going to throw the arms in here because the hands, the fingers are connected to the palms are connected by the wrist into the forearms and the upper arms, and they all work together. Now, this is all completely covered in the Foundation Swing Manual with pictures and good extensive and detailed write-ups about this. And there are probably, I might even go so far as to say, hundreds of dailies that I originally wrote, and then we had audio dailies. So we had written ones only, then we had audio with written, and now we have video with written. And go back in the archives and you can find those. Just start talking about hands and club face and stuff like that, and you can find plenty of these. But I'll go over it really hopefully simply and quickly. So your first question is, you say, I take away the club with my hand, with the turning of my hands into the mitt and up the tree. We will describe turning to be accurate as that first, when I start my turn, my goal is that even though I start the movement of the club with a turning of the right side, my right hip and right shoulder, my goal is to start the club head first. I want to feel like the club head moves first, and I move it first by lifting it and turning it, which is, the turn is basically rotation of both hands and arms. The arms are connected to the shoulder, the ball and socket joint. They rotate. So I have a little bit of torso turn, and I go in the mid toe up, and then I lift it up the tree. Okay? So we turn only to toe up, and we're up with toe up, and we're thumbs up. The thumbs up too. Both thumbs are up. Okay? As I turn, it's toe up and thumbs up. Just know where your thumbs are. Now, so that's what's happening there. So I think you were correct when you were saying you were turning your hands, but it's a very controlled amount of turn, only to toe up and thumbs up, okay? Because if you over rotate here, the club gets flat and laid off, which will keep pulling you very likely into more turn, deeper, and into the sacred burial ground. And the more we turn our hands, the hands turn, and the weight of the club keeps pulling them and turning them more. They get laid off, and the club is heavy rather than being in front in vertical. Then you say, then I throw the hands at the ball on a downswing. Absolutely not. We do not throw the hands at the ball. Most people might think that and feel that, the people who have played golf where they've been taught to what? Hit down on the ball. And again, there's articles and dailies after daily after daily, and it's in all the manuals and everything else, extensively detailed that I believe that without a doubt, if anyone is trying to hit down on the ball, and especially throwing the hands at the ball, you're just driving all the energy to the ground. And in most cases, to do that, to drive that kind of energy at the ground or throw it at the ground, you're very likely going to start your forward swing with your upper body, get ahead of the ball, and that's why you're throwing it, because you're so far past the ball. You got to throw the hands at it and the hands of the club at it to hit the ball. We swing up to the tee finish. Well, from here, we start to swing up. That almost guarantees that your lower body is going to start first and your upper body will stay back, because for a good impact, and when we talk about swinging up, we're always talking about what? We want our divots to be shallow. We don't want big, deep divots. We want shallow divots. We want the club just skipping off the ground. Nip it, just pinch it off the ground. The club ricochets off the ground. And so we're swinging up. So we start swinging up to the tee finish all the way up there from the get-go at the top of the backswing, because I see nothing good about anything to do with down. And why do we have to think and concentrate on down? If I just get up here and I let go of this club, it's falling. I get up here, I just let go of my arms, they're falling. Downswing is free. What isn't free is once I hit the ball, to swing up on this side and to keep my acceleration going as fast as I can do it, to accelerate my arms and the arms and club up to my shoulder, and for my body to be chasing it as I stand up to the tee finish. And so down I see nothing good with down except problems and problems and problems. Never mind the fact that you get into too much down and you start taking big divots. It's bad for the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, and even your shoulders and back, taking all those jarring divots. And plus the fact that big divots can twist the club and affect your ball flight and your direction. So we swing up to the tee finish. Should the hands be passive or aggressive? Well, if you think about a tennis player serving a ball and hitting a tennis racket one way or the other, is that passive or aggressive? It's got to be aggressive, because they're trying to hit the ball and hit it with force and hit it with accuracy. All right? Baseball player, right? They're trying to hit a baseball with force and accuracy, in a sense, especially if they're trying to hit behind the runner or whatever. But they're just trying to hit the ball. And so it has to be aggressive, not passive. Passive also, to me, implies the old concept of hold it like a baby bird, barely hold it. I can't tell you how many times I've had lessons and I see somebody standing, I can see their arms just like their hands holding a club like this. And I mean, heck, we hold a pencil and a pen tighter when we sign our names. I take people and I just twist the club like this, and I pull it out and it comes right out of their hands. You can't play tennis holding a racket like that. You can't hit a baseball swinging like that. Heck, we'd be having to replace pitches every inning, because somebody would be taking a swing and a bat would come flying out and bop the pitcher, if not kill him. I mean, we have to have control of this club. The club is accelerating. Why do a lot of people feel like they grab the club on the way down? Because they get up here and they're holding their hands a little bit too light, and when the club comes down and if the brain senses that as the club's coming down and picking up speed and you're trying to swing it through, and the club feels like it's going to start slipping out of your hands, what do? You grab it. The brain says grab it. I'm supposed to be holding this club. I have to hold it to hit it. I have to be in control of it. So my number one statement is always, I must swing the club does not swing me. That means I have to be on the aggressive side. I have to be swinging this golf club. It does what I want it to do. The club only does what I want it to do. So I have to have control of it, which means I have to have a relatively firm enough grip, and I've said this once, if not 1,000 times, that I use a lot of right hand. We're all told that the right hand for right hand is left for left hand is the lower hand. You shouldn't hold it because it causes all the problems. Most of you, if you didn't grab it at some point in the swing, you probably never hit the golf ball. I use the right hand because the right hand controls the club face. And being right-handed, I've got more sensitivity in it, I got more control of it, and I have more strength in it. And so I'm hitting the ball with a lot of right hand. I see Aaron Baddeley. You ought to see that guy in the range. Aaron Baddeley, the touring player, he can hit the ball so perfectly like that with his right hand. I can do it, but he's 10 times better than me, 100 times better. And what's he practicing? He's practicing how his right hand dictates where the swing goes and hits the ball solidly. My right hand stops the rotation to lift it up vertical in the backswing. When I get in the forward mitt, the right hand's stopping the rotation to make it go up vertical on that side. I've done some videos just recently on that. So it's all there. So you asked a bunch of good questions, and it looks like you were somewhat in a fog about all of these things, trapped between general golf instruction, which, if you've been here long enough, you know that I think most of it is nothing but opinion, supposition, speculation, trial and error. I only deal in fact, physics and physiology, and just start thinking about most of the other sports you played. There is no passive hands. in swinging any kind of stick or racket or whatever, trying to hit a golf ball, even right down to ping pong paddles. All right? So we have to be more on the aggressive side, more on the controlled side with the right amount of muscle tone, the right amount of engagement of our muscles, and to develop the right speeds and control to swing the club where we want it to go, so that way we will hit the ball where we want it to go and shoot those lower scores. That's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be talking to y'all again soon.